Why is it that the second we cross that 60-year finish line, so many of us just accept defeat? Look, I completely get it. You wake up, look in the mirror, and suddenly there's this stubborn belly overhang that literally was not there a decade ago. It's scary, right? You start feeling like your absolute prime is stuck in the rearview mirror. But what if I told you that getting a rock-solid, muscular core after 60 isn't just possible, but completely backed by hard clinical science? Welcome to today's Explainer, guys. I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step system I personally use to rebuild my body and carve out powerful muscular abs fast, even in my 60s. We're going to dig into the hidden and frankly dangerous things draining your energy right now, and then I'll reveal the foolproof 4-step blueprint that completely transformed my life. I'm keeping the ultimate payoff under wraps until the very end so you can see exactly how all the pieces fit together, so definitely stick with me.
So let's just address the elephant in the room. Why do so many of us hit 60 and just accept that belly overhang as a life sentence? It's a question that honestly used to keep me up at night. I remember hitting that milestone and feeling like I was permanently lugging around a spare tire. It totally plays tricks on your mind, man. You start rationalizing, well, I'm just getting older, my metabolism is shot, it is what it is. But settling for that soft midsection, it's not just bad for your confidence, it's a massive glaring red flag for your overall health. We're taught to fear losing our physical edge, and honestly, we should be, because what's happening under the hood is way more alarming than just struggling to zip up your favorite pair of jeans.
There's actually a clinical term for this feeling of your wheels falling off. Dynapenia. It's the silent, age-related loss of muscle and strength. When I first stumbled across this word in the medical literature, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It perfectly explained exactly why I felt so worn out. Dynapenia isn't just some fancy doctor jargon. It's a harsh biological reality. It literally means that without targeted intervention, our muscles are just wasting away. We lose that core structural integrity that keeps us standing tall, moving without pain, and feeling like the strong, capable men we used to be.
And man, this thought right here perfectly captures exactly where my head was at. I thought my best days were behind me. I was battling these nagging lower back injuries, I was constantly lethargic, and honestly, I felt pretty hopeless. I tried doing all the traditional gym stuff, but I just ended up tweaking my neck and back even worse. I really thought being jacked was strictly a young man's game. But after digging deep into clinical research and sports science, I found a serious beacon of hope. Turns out, getting shredded and building a bulletproof core is 100% scientifically possible at our age. You literally just need the right roadmap.
Section 1. The Wake-Up Call. It is time to face the facts.
Before we get to the fun part, the solution, we have to look the problem dead in the eye. We have to confront the dark, data-driven reality of what happens to a man's body when he hits his 60s. Get a load of this number, 3 to 5%. The clinical data shows that men naturally lose 3 to 5% of their muscle mass every single decade after turning 60. Just think about that for a second. Your body is essentially shrinking its engine while simultaneously slapping on extra belly fat and making you weaker. It is a brutal double whammy. As that muscle vanishes, your metabolism just tanks, and that is exactly why that belly overhang seems to appear out of nowhere and violently refuses to leave.
Now here's the absolute kicker. That stubborn belly fat isn't just a cosmetic issue. It is an active, dangerous threat to your survival. We are talking about visceral fat. This deep, toxic fat literally wraps around your internal vital organs, like your liver and intestines. It drastically spikes your risk of heart disease and is heavily linked to insulin resistance. But the worst part for us guys, visceral fat actively tanks your healthy testosterone levels. It acts like a parasite, draining the exact hormones that make you feel energetic, strong, and masculine. Realizing this was the exact moment I said, all right, enough is enough. I need a real system.
Which brings us to step 1. Rethink your core and train a whole lot smarter.
I literally had to unlearn everything I thought I knew about getting a six-pack. Because frankly, the bro science we followed in our 20s is exactly what's keeping us injured and soft in our 60s. Take traditional floor crunches, for example. They place immense, dangerous pressure on your spine, they crank your neck, and honestly, they only work those surface-level muscles anyway. For older dudes, they're basically a one-way ticket to the physical therapist. On the flip side, standing, functional core exercises build deep, foundational stability. They mimic real-life movements, and they actually protect your spine. If you want to flatten that stomach after 60, you've got to get up off the floor.
So here's the floor-free core blueprint that absolutely changed the game for me. First up, standing knee to elbow crunches. You stand tall and drive your knee to your opposite elbow, forcing the abs to contract super hard without bending your spine in half.
Next, cable rows. These are crucial for rebuilding those upper back muscles, fixing that rounded posture that pushes your belly out in the first place. Step-ups build core balance while firing up your legs. And the farmer's carry? Man, just grabbing heavy dumbbells and walking forces your entire trunk to brace and stabilize. This isn't just about looking good in the mirror, it's about building real-world functional strength so you can pick up your grandkids without throwing your back out.
All right, step 2, fuel the machine, because you can't ignore nutrition.
You know the old saying, abs are made in the kitchen, right? Well, after 60, they are absolutely forged there. In fact, guys who track their nutrition have a massive 78% higher success rate. You simply cannot outtrain a bad diet, especially when our aging metabolism is already working against us. Check out this exact metric from the ESPN clinical guidelines. Healthy older adults need at least 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day. We actually need more protein than younger guys just to trigger muscle synthesis and fight off that sarcopenia and dynopenia we talked about earlier. If you aren't hitting this number, your workouts are essentially just burning away the little muscle you have left.
So let's break down exactly what fueling the machine looks like. Here is the macronutrient breakdown you need to strip away that dangerous visceral fat. Protein is obviously your #1 priority for muscle repair and retention. We're talking lean meats, legumes, and whey. But pay attention to that second row, healthy fats. Things like nuts, olive oil, and avocados are absolute dynamite for natural testosterone and hormone support. And listen, don't fear carbs. Just choose complex carbs like vegetables and whole grains. They give you the clean, sustained energy you need to push heavy weights without spiking your blood sugar.
Moving right along to step 3, full body armor through compound resistance. Here's the brutal, honest truth. Isolated ab workouts are totally useless if you aren't doing heavy compound resistance training to spike your hormones naturally. Doing crunches until you're blue in the face won't boost your testosterone, but moving some serious iron absolutely will. Look at this clinical flowchart from the ESPN expert group. Do you see the exact synergy required to combat muscle aging? It's the direct combination of dietary protein intake and exercise, specifically resistance training. When you combine adequate protein with lifting heavy weights, it creates the ultimate anti-aging synergy. It flips a switch, telling your body to stop wasting away and start building back up.
So you have to know exactly what to lift. These are your natural testosterone boosters. Heavy squats are, without a doubt, the #1 exercise for aging men because they engage massive muscle groups all at once, triggering a massive hormonal response. Deadlifts are incredible for total body strength, though you definitely want to modify them if needed to protect that lower back. Throw in bench presses and dumbbell rows to armor up the upper body. And whatever you do, don't sleep on HIIT, high-intensity interval training. Just a few short minutes a week can naturally spike those testosterone levels for up to an hour post-workout. The sweet spot actually looks exactly like this. 150 minutes of moderate cardio paired with 2 to 3 days of strength training per week. This is straight from the NHS guidelines, and let me tell you, it acts as a bulletproof, natural remedy for male andropause. It keeps your heart healthy, actively burns off that stubborn visceral fat, and gives your muscles just enough stimulus to grow without completely destroying your joints in the process.
And finally, step 4, which is honestly the most overlooked, strategic recovery.
Look, when I first started this journey, my absolute biggest mistake was acting like I was 25 again. I went beast mode every single day. And you know what happened? I just got weaker. Why? Because our older bodies are way more prone to overuse injuries, and muscles literally only grow when you are resting. You have got to watch out for the signs of overtraining, which look completely different for us now. If you have this ongoing fatigue that just won't fade, or you wake up and your resting heart rate is randomly elevated, you are pushing too hard. Same goes for deep sleep disturbances, snapping at your spouse because you're irritable, or constantly catching colds. Overtraining actually tanks your testosterone. Let me say that again. Working out too much will literally ruin your gains and crash your male hormones. You have to earn your rest.
Because here's the secret sauce. The vast majority of your natural testosterone release happens during deep REM sleep cycles. Skipping sleep is basically taking all your hard work in the gym, putting it in a trash bag, and throwing it in the dumpster. REM sleep is when your body brings in the repair crew to fix the muscle tissue and pumps out the hormones that strip away belly fat. If you aren't prioritizing high-quality sleep, your six-pack is going to stay hidden forever, guaranteed.
Let's tie all of this together with the 4-step blueprint.
We've covered the hidden dangers, the dialed-in nutrition, the heavy lifting, and the mandatory resting. Now here's the exact, foolproof 4-step system that gave me my life back.
First, rethink your core. Ditch the floor crunches for standing, functional moves. Second, fuel the machine. Hit that crucial 1.0 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight every single day. Third, build full body armor with heavy compound resistance training to naturally spike your testosterone. And finally, strategic recovery. Prioritize your REM sleep and take your rest days extremely seriously. This is exactly what I did to strip away the visceral fat and build powerful, muscular abs in my 60s.
Which leaves me with one final question for you. Are you going to let age dictate your physique, or are you ready to be the architect of your own physical transformation, starting today? The clinical data is crystal clear, the system is completely proven, and the choice is entirely yours. You do not have to accept a decline. Get out there, start implementing this blueprint, and take control of your health. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.